I'm Anil Kumar. Welcome to my YouTube channel and the website Global Math Institute. Let me thank my student Rohan for sharing some brilliant questions. We are going to answer these one by one. The whole idea here is to share with you examples globally which can help you understand the topics better. So this is actually a test paper from Edexcel GCSE. So we're talking about angles in this particular case. All the examples should be done without a calculator, right? So that's kind of important. Here are some standard instructions which should be followed to answer these questions. Okay, so moving forward to the questions themselves, we need to find angles in this particular case, right? Since the topic here is angles, correct? Now this is foundation level GCSE. So the diagram is not to the scale. We are given isosceles triangles. So when we are given something like this, it means isosceles triangle where these two angles at the base opposite to the equal side should be equal. The question here is, PQ is a straight line, so this is a straight line. Work out the sizes of angles marked X and Y, right? So we'll just answer everything here since only that part of the screen is visible to you. However, you're supposed to, write your answers in the specified space, correct? So that is how it moves on. But what we are going to do here is understand how to solve these questions and write answers on the figure itself. So in the very first question, we have these two sides equal. So that basically means isosceles triangle. So let me write like this. And that means that these two sides are equal, right? Angles are equal, right? So these angles are equal. That is one thing. What we are given actually is one angle, which is 126. So we can start from here, and this forms a linear pair. So what you notice here is a linear pair. We also call supplementary angle. So their sum is 180 degrees, right? So we have 126 plus x equals to 180 degrees, correct? So x can be found as difference of 180 and 126, right? So that is how you can find the value of x. So 10 take away 6 is 4, borrowed 1, 7, 2 gives you 5. So we have 54 as the value of x. So this becomes 54. Now since it is an isosceles triangle, this angle should be equal to this angle, correct? So that angle is also equal to 54 degrees, but we need to find what y is. So sum of the angles in a triangle is 180, correct? So we can find that the y angle should be equals to 180 degrees minus these two 54s, right? So 2 times 54, right? We have to take away this angle twice, which you can also say 180 degrees minus 4 times 2 is 8 and then 10, right? So you could do this, and there you go. 10 take away 8 is 2, 7 take away is 72 degrees, correct? So we get our answer. So let me write down the answer here itself. We got x as equal to, degree is already mentioned there, so we'll just write 54 and the value of y is 72, correct? So you're actually supposed to write this here, so we'll write it in the space provided. X is 54 and the size of y is 72, correct? So now we have a space here to provide reasons. It says give reasons for your answer, correct? So we actually explain the reasons, correct? So first is, we can say the angle x is supplementary pair with 126 degrees straight line. And as far as y is concerned, in that case, we have sum of angles in a triangle is 180 degrees, right? So we use that principle to figure out what y is. And we also utilized that the triangle is isosceles triangle. Right? So we could write y as equal to 180 degrees minus 2 times x. Does it make sense to you? So that gives you the reason for what we did, right? So we are moving slow only because we want to understand the whole concepts and provide reasoning. But in examination, you can actually very quickly answer this question, right? Now in question number 2, we have a quadrilateral in which 3 angles are given to us. Work out the size of angle A, which we need to find, and write the answer right there, right? So in this case, when you have a quadrilateral, in that case, we know sum of interior angles is 360 degrees, right? Correct. So basically, we have to add all this and take away from 360 to find A, right? So basically, what we have is we can add these numbers, which are 120 and 140 and then 58. So when you add them, you get 8, and this is 6 plus 5, 11, 318, right? So we get this 318. So angle A is equal to 360 degrees minus 318, which is sum of these 3 angles, correct? So which will be, so from 360 degrees, when you take away 318, you get 2 here, and then from 5, when you take away 1, you get 4. So 42 degrees is angle A, correct? So we get this answer as 42. Degree is already mentioned there, correct? So that is how you're going to answer question number 2. Now let's look into the other questions. Question number 3, we are given a triangle with angles 50, 50 and 60 and an exterior angle x we need to figure out. It says in the diagram, ABC is the triangle, ACD is a straight line, angle CAB is 50, ABC is 60. Work out the size of angle marked x. Right? So in this case, we use the exterior angle theorem. Which basically is that exterior angle is sum of remote interior angles. Correct? And that gives you the answer. We can find what x is. It is sum of these two. So we get x as equal to 60 degrees plus 50 degrees, which is 110 degrees. Correct? That becomes our answer. Correct? Alternate method, which you could also do, is we know this, we can first find this angle, right? So angle ACB is a part of a triangle, so it is equals to 180 degrees minus 50 plus 60, right? Right? And once you figure this out, which is you do 180 degrees minus 110 degrees, and then what you get here is 70 degrees, correct? Now angle x is, because that is a straight line, correct? So we have this as 180 degrees minus 70 degrees, which is 110 degrees. So we get the same answer. You get the idea. So the exterior angle theorem is extremely important, right? Some of you could have missed this because I don't see many students applying it in their solutions, right? So So the answer here is 110 degrees, right? Degrees mentioned here anyway. Now let's move on and take question number 4. So question number 4 here, again, we are given an isosceles triangle. So this, what is given here is an isosceles triangle. So it says PQR is an isosceles triangle. Okay? The two sides are equal. PQ is equals to PR. Angle R is 23 degrees. Work out the value of X. We need to find this, right? Since it is an isosceles triangle, we know angle Q is equal to angle R, which is 23 degrees, right? So opposite equal sides. In isosceles triangle. Right? So that becomes the reason. So we know that this angle here is also 23. Now the third angle is sum of angles in a triangle is 180, right? So we know sum of angles in a triangle is equals to 180 degrees, correct? And therefore we can find the value of X as equal to 180 degrees minus 23 plus 23 or 46, correct? So you could do that. So 180 degrees minus 46, and then when you do that, from borrow 7 minus 4 is 3, and so we get 134 degrees as our answer. So X is equal to, we can now place it right there, 134 degrees. Now here degrees is not written, so you have to write the unit degrees, right? Question number 5 here is, we are given a triangle ABC and we need to work out the marked angle P. Now that angle is not an exterior angle, right? What is this? This is vertically opposite angle. So when the lines cross like this, what we get here is vertically opposite angles, which are always equal. So this angle here is 50 degrees, correct? So we know angle A is 50 degrees, and now we can find angle B, right? So the measure of angle B, which is given to us as P, is equal to 180 degrees minus 50 minus 70, correct? Or you can say 180 degrees minus 120 degrees, or it is 60 degrees. Is that clear? So we again use the property that sum of angles in a triangle is 180 degrees, right? So I hope that is clear. We'll write down our answer here, 60 degrees. Question number 6. So we are given PQR is a straight line, QS equals to QR, which is marked here. Work out the size of angle X. So we need to figure out this angle X. Give reasons for your answer. So let me just push this page a bit. Okay, so here we are. Give reasons for your answer, correct? So let's begin by answering this question. So we know these two angles, opposite side angles will be equal. So this angle is 50, so that angle should also be 50. So we'll mark this as 50 degrees. Is that clear to you? All right. So we know angle QR. We'll write down the reason here that angle SQR equals to 50 degrees, which is equal to angle SRQ, because we are given isosceles triangle, right? So angles opposite equal sides. So that becomes the reason for this, and what we need to figure out is X. Now that is a linear pair, right? So supplementary angles, a straight line. So since PR or PQ is a straight line, so we can say PQR is a straight line, right? So what we have is that the sum is 180 degrees, right? So we'll work out here x degrees plus 50 degrees should actually give me 180 degrees. So from here, x degrees will be 180 degrees minus 50 degrees, and that is 130 degrees. So we get our answer as 130 degrees. Now the reason is that PQR is a straight line, right? So we have a supplementary pair. Okay, so that becomes the reason for this. Question number 7. Now here we need to work out the value of x, and we need to also work out the value of y. Now in this particular triangle, first is a supplementary pair. That's a straight line, correct? So we have a supplementary pair here. Some of us call this as a linear pair, right? Or basically angles formed on a straight line. I should write angles on straight line on the same side. Right? That's kind of important. The whole circle is 360, right? So that is kind of reason. And we know what x will be now. X plus 43 degrees is equals to 180 degrees. So x is equals to 180 minus 43 degrees, which is 10 take away 3 is 7, 7 take away 4 is 3, and 1 remains there, so 137. So this angle is 137 degrees. Is that clear to you? Now we get this angle, and angle y, we can combine all this. Sum of these angles is 180 degrees. So work out y. So angle y plus angle 43 degrees plus angle 108 degrees should be equal to 180. That is because sum of angles in a triangle is 180 degrees, right? So when I say angles, we are meaning interior angles. So I hope that's absolutely clear, right? So that is what it is. So which is, we have y plus, we can add this first. 8 and 3 is 11, 1 and 4 is 5, 151 is 180 degrees. So y is 180 minus 151 degrees. So 10 take away 1 is 9, 7 take away 5 is 2, and 1 remains. So we have 129 degrees as the value of y. Clear? Question number 8. Triangle ABC is isosceles triangle with AC equals to BC. Angle ACD is 62 degrees. BCD is a straight line. Work out the angle X, correct? Now that is an isosceles triangle, so we can say that the angle A is equal to angle B is equals to X, right? So this is also X because it is opposite equal sides in an isosceles triangle. Okay, so that is the reason, right? So, and now we'll apply the exterior theorem, right? And we know 62 should be equal to sum of these two, right? Should be x plus x, right? That is what exterior theorem is. Right? You could do 180 minus this and also get the result, right? No problem. So we'll do this, it is preferred. So 2x, 62 over 2 is equal to x, right? So which is 31 degrees. So we get the value here as 31. Degrees is already written here, correct? So we have written our answer at the specified place. So I hope explanation is absolutely clear. Now let's take question number 9, slightly more complicated. PQR is a straight line. So we have a straight line here. PQ, QS, QR are all equal, right? So these three sides are equal. Angle SPQ is 25 degrees. Write down the size of W. Work out the size of angle X and then Y also. We need to figure out all these angles, correct? So let's see from where to begin. Now in this particular triangle, we are given most of the things. Two sides, that means isosceles triangle. So those two angles should be equal, right? So this angle basically should be equal to that angle, correct? So write down the size for angle W. So W angle is 25. So we'll just straight away write 25 degrees here. We have already explained. And now the value of X, because that forms a triangle, so the value of X will be equal to, we can work out here, we know X plus 25 is 180, correct? So X is equals to 180 degrees, all are in degrees, minus 50, correct? So that is 130 degrees. So we have the value of X as 130 degrees and angle Y is how much? We need to now figure out what Y is. So since this X is found to be 130 degrees, with this linear pair, we will do 180 minus 130, so that is 50 for us. Correct? That is 50 for us. Now, in this particular triangle, we are given those two sides are equal. That means this side is also Y for us. Does make sense to you? Correct? So now, Y, 2Y, right? Both are same, will be equal to, we can work out in a couple of ways. One method will be that we can say Y plus 50 equals to 180. So we have 2Y equals to 180 minus 50, which is 130, right? So Y is half of 130. So we have Y as 65 degrees. So that is one way of doing it. The alternate method here is exterior theorem, right? So I want to, work on this exterior theorem. Okay, so we have this angle X is basically equals to twice Y, sum of these two, right? So we have this as 130 degrees equals to twice Y. So 130 over 2 is Y. So we again get the same answer as expected, 65. So we'll just place this answer now in the specified area, which is right there. Is that clear to you? Correct? So we have shown this with two methods. I hope both are absolutely clear, right? Now let's move on, and here's a quadrilateral to solve. Diagram is not to the scale, which is in most of the cases. We need to work out this exterior angle X. Now this is a quadrilateral, right? So here the sum is 360 degrees. So it's all 360 degrees total. Is that okay? So that's the whole idea. So let's add all these angles, correct? So we'll write down these angles, which are 119 plus 105 plus 78. Let's add this. So we have 914 and 822, 3 and 410. So it is 14 and 822, 2 here, right? So 3 plus 7 is 10, 0 and 1, correct? And when you add 1, you get 302. Now we need total of 360, so we have 360 degrees minus sum of all this. Let me write down here, 119 plus 105 plus 78 degrees, which is 360 minus 302, right? And when you take away, from 0 you borrowed, so we have 58 degrees. So this answer here will be, you have to still figure out, but this is 58 degrees. Is it okay? Now, this is a straight line, right? Straight line. Supplementary pairs. We also call linear pair, right? So we have X plus 58 is equals to 180 degrees, or X is equals to 180 degrees minus 58. which is 10 take away 8, 7 take away 5, and then 122 degrees. So we have 122 degrees in this particular case. Is that clear to you? So have a good look at it. This is the first question on our quadrilateral. So we have 2 more questions to go, I think. Let's see. Question number 11. Question number 11. ABD is a triangle, ABC is a straight line, angle ABD is 70 degrees. Work out the value of x and y. Give reasons for your answers, right? So first thing, we know these two are isosceles triangle, right? So we have isosceles triangle. That is first thing, correct? This means that these two angles are equal, right? So this angle is equal to that angle. That is what it means, okay? Now let's begin our solution. We are given at point B a straight line with 70 degrees on one side. So we know that 70 degrees plus x degrees should be equals to 180 degrees. And that gives us the value of x as 180 degrees minus 70 degrees. And that is 110 degrees. So we get the first answer as 110 degrees. And the reason is it's a supplementary pair. Straight line sum of angles is 180 degrees. Is that clear to you? So that is how we could provide a reason. Oh, that reason was to be given here. I'm sorry. We'll write here straight line angles are supplementary with sum of 180 degrees, correct? So that is the reason. Okay, now we'll work out y. Now we know that is 70 degrees. So this side is also 70 degrees, being isosceles triangle, and that is interior angle sum of 180, correct? So we can now write down that the value of y should be equal to y plus 70 plus 70 should be equals to 180 degrees, correct? So basically y, let me write down here, y equals to 180 degrees minus 140 degrees, which is 40 degrees, correct? So reason we'll write down soon. So we get this here. Now here the reason is not this, okay? So the reason is first isosceles triangle ABD, so angle A is equal to angle DBA, so that is not very clear if I write B, right, which is 70 degrees. Is that clear? That is first thing. And second is sum of interior angles in a triangle is 180 degrees, right? So that is how we found y. Question number 12, which is second last question. We were very close to the end of this test paper. Now work out the angle A, right? So this big angle we need to figure out. Perfect. So we'll go with this straight line. We are given 138 degrees and we'll find this angle first. Let me call this angle as, let us say, x. So we know that x plus 138 degrees is 180. So x is equal to 180 minus 138 degrees. So 10 take away 8 is 2. We borrowed 1. 7 take away 3 is 4. 42 degrees. So we get this as 42 degrees. Perfect. Now we can find the angle, the third angle. The third angle here will be, because that sum is 180 in all, correct? So when it is 180 in all, we'll actually add and subtract these two numbers. So we'll find, let's call this angle as y, right? So we say y plus 65 plus 42 degrees is 180 degrees, right? That is sum of interior angles in a triangle. So we have y plus, let's add this first, 107 equals to 180. So y is equals to 180 minus 107. So that gives us 3, and then we have 73 degrees, right? So we have y as 73. Now, full circle is 360 degrees, right? So the angle A is 360 degrees minus whatever we got here, which was 73 degrees. And that gives us 7, and then it is 5. We borrow 1, 15 gives us 8, and then we are left with 2 here, 287 degrees. You can actually check your calculations. 7 and 3 is 10, so we get 1, 8 and 8 is 16, and we get 3. So the value of A is 287 degrees. And the reason for this is full circle is 360 degrees. Since full circle is 360 degrees, we found the value of angle A, correct? As 360 minus the vertex angle y. Is that clear? The last question here is question number 13. So now we are given combination of triangle and quadrilateral. Perfect. The question is, in the diagram, ABC is a straight line and BD equals to DC. So that is marked for you, BD equals to DC. Work out the sides for X and Y. So these two sides we need to figure out. Now that is an isosceles triangle. So if this is X, the other side angle should also be X. So in this particular triangle, we know that these two will be X, and therefore we can write 120 degrees plus X plus, X is equals to 180 degrees. So 2X plus 120 degrees is equals to 180 degrees, or we can say 2x is 180 minus 120, which is 60, correct? Okay, so x will be 60 divided by 2, which is 30 degrees. So we get the value of x as x equals to 30 degrees. Okay, now once we get this value of x, we can find the other angle on this side, right? That makes sense. And so let's call this value, let's call this angle as A. Okay. So from here, we know A is equal to 180 degrees, take away 30 degrees, since this is a linear pair, right? And that is 150 degrees. So A is equals to 150 degrees. Clear? So we know A is 150 degrees. And now we need to find the value of y, correct? So the value of y will be, all this sum is 360, right? This sum is 180 of this triangle, and quadrilateral is 360 degree. Perfect. So their sum should be 360. So to find the value of y, we say y is equal to 360 degrees, take away all this, which is 108 plus 54 plus we found 150, correct? Calculator is not allowed in this paper, so you have to do your calculations. So 8 plus 4 is 12, 2, 1. 5 and 5, 10 and 1, 11, 1. 2 and 1, 3. So 312 degrees. So now, borrow 10, take away 2 is 8, 5, take away 1 is 4, 48 degrees, correct? So we get the value of y as 48 degrees. Is that clear to you? So I'd like you to really see it carefully, and I hope you've understood how we have got the answer. Let me now put the answers at the right place. Work out the size of angle x, which we found as 30 degrees. Degrees is already mentioned, and as far as the size of y is concerned, the working was shown earlier, and the angle was 48 degrees. So that is how we are going to solve this test paper. So I hope you find it interesting and useful. So that was our last question, question number 13. And let's go see the other questions one by one. Just placing my papers back. And I hope that helps you really to understand how to solve such questions which involve angles in triangles and quadrilaterals, right? And their combinations. You learned here that the exterior angle theorem, which means exterior angle is sum of remote interior angles, right? So that was a set of solutions from me, Anil Kumar. If you have any doubts, provide suggestions and questions. I'll be delighted to give you answers at the earliest. Feel free to write your comments, share your views, and if you like and subscribe to my videos, that'd be great. Thanks for your time and all the best.